Thanks for staying with us. I'm Laura O'Reilly. And in the Culture War segment tonight, by now everybody in the world knows the story of Miss California. Carrie Prejean lost her crown, probably because she voiced her opposition to gay marriage. But now, to add insult to injury, she's becoming the target of some of the most reprehensible far-left attacks you've ever seen, as we told you in the memo. Joining us now from New York is Gloria Feldt, a feminist who runs the website gloriafeldt.com. And Gloria, I said this today on my radio show. I said, this woman, Carrie Prejean, was savaged last night on MSNBC by Michael Musto, who's a gay writer, apparently, for The Village Voice, and the MSNBC host, savaged in the most personal, vicious way about her physique and her sexual organs. The references were made to that. And I'm thinking to myself, where are the feminists? Are feminists not going to step up and say, wait a second, you don't go there with a young woman. This is way out of bounds of even minimal standards of decency.
Well, let me say, Laura, that first of all, I have been the butt of that same kind of attack from the right so many times that I used to be 5 inches taller, and I've developed very thick skin, and I think even perhaps from the likes of you. But that having been said, that having been said, let me just say that,
Gloria,
that in regard to feminism, feminism is about.
Gloria, you gotta stop.
Let me answer your question, please.
I'm not going to let you finish.
Let me answer your question. Feminism is about equality and justice.
No, Gloria, the filibuster isn't going to work here. Okay, filibuster's not going to work here. I don't believe I've ever uttered your name before. I don't think so. If I have, then I'm just forgetting. Well, but I have never said anything approaching the viciousness and the hatefulness of what was said last night about this young woman. And frankly, if I had said something about a young woman who came forward and made her point about being pro-choice or pro-gay marriage, I'd probably be off the air.
Meghan McCain, proving that when you criticize the Republican Party, you're the media's best friend.
The Republican Party is split into two halves of where they think the Republican Party should go. There are people that think we should go back to our conservative roots, become extreme conservative. Mike Huckabee says that quite often. And there are people like me that think we need to be more moderate and reach out to people.
Totally rad. I love what you're saying. I think it has a lot of merit. And I think if we all talk like you, maybe we'll get the really dumb people to vote for us.
I love the Republican Party, and I'm trying to help it. And I know I have become controversial and my statements are controversial, but I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think it was important, period. Because I don't have to be doing this, but I love writing. I love the Daily Beast, and I've seen a lot, I've done a lot, and this is what I really believe.
Oh, come on. What you really wanted to do is have a guest starring role on the Hills, but they rejected you, so you're doing this.
I've had a front seat to presidential politics and what is wrong and
Big
very
seat.
right with the Republican Party. And I'm just trying to say what I think, and I'm so glad people are responding. And I am so flattered that people are reading it and listening to me.
Okay, Meghan, do you think that anyone would be talking to you if you weren't kind of cute and you weren't the daughter of John McCain? Or do you just think that they would just think that you were just another Valley girl gone awry?
You picked a fight with somebody who's definitely going to fight back.
Yeah. Well, if it was, if it was too hot in the kitchen, I'd get out. I know what I'm doing, and I know that I'm creating. I know she probably will respond. She already has, but I'm sure she'll respond harder. But this dialogue should take place. It should. I think that, oftentimes, and I think it's relevant because I am a Republican. I still consider myself a Republican, and that's why it's relevant, because I'm someone within the party.
How long before she totally abandons the Daily Beast and makes it official at the Huffington Post?
And I think there's extreme on both parties, and I hate extreme. I don't understand. I have friends that are the most radically conservative and radically liberal people possibly ever, and we all get along. We can find a middle ground.
Okay, I was really hoping that I was going to get that role in the real world, but then I realized that, well, they don't like plus-size models. They only like the women who look a certain way. And on this 50th anniversary of Barbie, I really have something to say.
And frankly, if I had said something about a young woman who came forward and made her point about being pro-choice or pro-gay marriage, I'd probably be off the air. So
well,
I think
that's great.
Yeah, but don't.
And
Gloria,
I believe that Musto was over the top. Let me say I am not defending what he said.
Well, that would have been nice, Gloria. What would be nice is if, thank you, we heard from feminists that this kind of attack against a young woman who holds the majority view in our country and who is just answering a question honestly.
Okay.
Feminists should be screaming about this. Yes, you may. Yeah, just don't malign me in the process. Go ahead.
Okay. If I may answer you now, let me just say that feminism is about justice and equality. I think that what Ms. Prejean needs is perhaps a heart transplant rather than the breast implants that she had paid for by the pageant. To be perfectly,
so you're attacking her looks.
No, that.
Okay, I was really hoping that I was going to get that role in the real world, but then I realized that, well, they don't like plus-size models. They only like the women who look a certain way. And on this 50th anniversary of Barbie, I really have something to say.
This is true. And actually,
why did you just say that?
I'm glad. No, I think that now she is fair game.
This is unbelievable.
She is now fair game because she is a national spokesperson for a group that opposes marriage equality.
A feminist is attacking a woman for how she looks. This is great. You guys have come full circle here in the United States of America. Now it's okay for feminists to ridicule women for the way they look. Go for it, Gloria.
Ridicule her, nor do I know of another feminist who has.
You just did by implication. You just made the point. She needs a brain transplant rather than a breast transplant. Why did you make that up?
Because she is a heart transplant.
Why did you bring up her breast implants?
Feminism is about justice and equality. And now that she has become a national spokesperson for a group that actively opposes marriage equality, she's unfortunately become fair game. She's put herself out there. I respect her for doing that. She's entitled to her opinion. But she has to know that when she puts herself out there in that way, just as I have in my own past, you are subject to the most vitriolic kinds of attacks.
Gloria,
that's what happens.
I don't think she would probably refer to any physical attribute that you have or don't have in responding to why she believes that traditional marriage, as President Obama believes, as former President Clinton believes, as most Democrats who ran for the presidency, the nomination believed. So I don't think she would refer to your physical appearance, and I think your referencing hers is a little bit odd.
Because
she answered a question truthfully, and for that she has been viciously savage, not substantively, but viciously personally savage. That's the whole point.
But let's look at the substance of it. And she herself said she understands why gay rights activists have responded so strongly. In an interview, she said she understood that they felt hurt. And that's why I said I think she needs a heart, because she is a heart transplant. I think it would be much better if she were to think about how to bring equality and justice rather than trying to prevent some people from exercising their own civil rights to be who they are.
Gloria, basically, you can't have this view. If your view is that if you are among the majority of Americans who believe in traditional marriage, if you are in that majority, you basically don't have a heart.
Well, actually, the latest polls say that the majority of Americans support civil unions. So the actual public opinion is trending.
But you're not answering the question, Gloria.
No,
I just asked you a simple question.
I'm telling you that you're wrong in your data of what you said. The American public supports...
You're saying the majority of Americans don't support traditional marriage.
The majority of Americans may support traditional marriage, but they also support gay unions. They support gay rights. They're becoming more and more open.
So that's how you're going to. So you're comfortable with that, Gloria, of waging an actual debate instead of saying, "Well, look," and I hope Carrie Prejean sees that in my view, your view, that there's civil rights implications here, and then make marriage accessible to other people. Yeah, make the substantive case, and I've heard the substantive case, and it's an interesting debate. But doing that is fine. But standing by as a feminist and basically giving the nod and the okay to say she's, quote, fair game, referencing her breast implants as you did on this show, which I'm shocked about, how is that a feminist thing to do? I can't believe it, Gloria.
Feminism, as I said, is about equality and justice, and the position that she is taking is actually in opposition to freedom and justice and equality for a whole group of Americans.
Yeah,
and
so,
frankly, she was seeking to represent our country, which is a large and diverse country, excuse me, in a global competition.
Yeah, but they can't disagree with you.
I think her opinion, I think she's entitled to her opinion, but she also has to take the consequences of having her opinion.
I know. Well, she knows, believe me, Gloria, she knows now that she can't look to feminists to support her as a woman speaking her mind in public. She's not allowed to have those thoughts, but I appreciate it.
And because she is, and because she is, but she has to know that when she, and because she is, and because she is, but she has to know that when
Fuck Fox News, Coctopus out.